time I see Glenn Close, I get the gut feeling of shame from when I spit Triscuits in her face. The only time I met her.
What'd you do?
I never told that story on a podcast.
I don't ever remember it.
2004.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Okay.
Just shut you down.
I needed the year. I wasn't sure in the year, but I got it.
You met her at a film festival, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
it was
remember.
Before I was a comic. I made that film Something that's on my YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's in the Garden State Film Festival, and up for best short film. And my short film is opening up the Saturday night feature. So it's like my short film, then like a little bit longer narrative short film, and then the feature, which is a big spot. Saturday at 8 o'clock, big theater. So I got invited to like the opening cocktail party, and like so I don't know anybody. I'm just there alone. You know what I mean? I'm just walking around, and I met the guys whose feature I'm opening up for. So I was hanging with them, palling with them, and fucking all the hors d'oeuvres are coming around. I'm just fucking loving it, dude. I got no money back then. Like, I am broker than broke. So I'm like, all these fancy hors d'oeuvres was heaven. I'm just shoving Triscuits with cheese and shrimp, just everything. And then the general manager of the film festival comes over and introduces us to Glenn Close. She's like, guys, these are the guys whose films are playing Saturday night. I just want to introduce you guys, Glenn Close. And it's just surreal when someone that famous is literally standing next to you. You start like almost tripping. You're like, because she was gorgeous. Now, it was 2004. I mean, she's just beautiful. I'm sitting there. So she goes, she puts out her hands to everybody, and she gets to me. She goes, a pleasure to meet you. And I had just put a Triscuit hors d'oeuvre in my mouth, and I go, pleased to meet you, and shavings from the Triscuit fly out of my mouth, like right at our hands. And she just gave like one of those, like, and I was just like, oh. And I couldn't kick that feeling the rest of the rest of the party. I was just like, oh, man.
I hear you, man.
But this goes to show, like, I should do comedy because, like, failures like that just are so common. Like, I can't, even when I'm having a good moment, it turns into like an awful moment. Like the universe is like, nah, you just.
What I imagine happened is that she's been invited back to small film festivals ever since and turned them down because, like, no, I just don't want to meet the people.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about Triscuit Boy?
I went and I had my hand boiled in water.
Yeah.
Fucking his Triscuit dust landed on my hand.
And he was the director and writer of a short film. Ugh. Not even the feature director.
Yeah.
I got crumbs on me from a short film director. Literally. Short guy making short films. Spraying Triscuits on my Glenn Close famous hand.
Oh, that's got to be.
Every time I see her on a show, anytime I see her anything, my stomach goes. Just,
I bet, dude. I bet.
So embarrassing. It was so embarrassing, but it's a story. I got a story. Maybe I'll write. Maybe if we ever write my story, I'll be like, "Hey, Glenn, can I cast you in this from when I spit on your hand?" Pivotal moment in my life where I knew I wasn't going to be in your industry.
Where I knew I just closed that door.
Yeah, close that door. Ooh. Painful.
I met. I didn't spit on him, but I met. My first day or second day barking ever.
I didn't spit on him, but
it was my first day barking, second day barking ever in my life.
Uh-huh.
And I'm on Times Square. I'm on 47th Street in Times Square, and I see Dan Marino walking down the street, and there's nobody out. It's for like the late 11 o'clock show, so I'm out there like 10:30, and here comes Dan Marino. Street's empty, and Dan Marino's walking towards me. And I was like, holy. So I put my hand, I was like, man, Dan Marino, what's up, man? And I wanted to say, great career, you know, awesome. But I knew that he never won a Super Bowl, so it got stuck in my head that was it a great career? Like I started having this debate because he didn't win a Super Bowl, and I didn't know how to end. So I just put my hand out. He shook my hand. I did not let go of his hand. I said, "Great, great, 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 great." I could not get out of great because I didn't know where to go with it because it was a career. I was a great, 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 great. And at the end he started laughing at me. He took his hand away, like, all right. And I was like, career, good meeting you. Like,
guy's like stuttering prick.
Yeah, he laughed at me. He laughed and pulled his hand away. He's like, all right, guy.
Yeah, it's just being around, seeing celebrities. It's just weird. Like,
yeah, and they are. I don't care. There's something about. There's a reason why they are who they are. Because even the unattractive ones, the ugly ones, are still not ugly.
Right.
Like something about them. It's like you're not probably as not a celebrity. You're just an ugly person, like not attractive. But for some reason, there's a glow. There's an it. That's why they're the it thing. I met
it factor.
100%. I met that a woman. She's been in a lot of movies, but I always remember from Men in Black. Mm-hmm. She was in Men in Black 1, and I think the beginning of Men in Black 2, and then she was gone, where she was the girl who worked in the morgue. Remember?
Okay. Yeah.
So she's been in a lot of things, but she came to a Danny Aiello show when he was doing them in New York at the Gaslight.
Okay.
And you see her on movies, she's not, I'm not going to say she's an ugly girl. She's a pretty woman, but like you're not looking at this woman and going, oh my God.
Yeah.
She's just not that girl where you're like, oh my God. But in the bar with meeting her, she was fucking beautiful. I was like, how pretty is that woman? And she just was, man. It's just something elevates them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, it's also because you see them on TV, see them in movies. It's just you can't believe they're there in front of you, and you get all flustered. Like I told you, when I was working at a gas station, I was 17. I was living in East Brunswick. It was like the New Jersey Turnpike, Sunoco station. It was like right past exit 9, and I'm come to my pump, rolls down a window. It's like a Jeep Cherokee. It's William Baldwin. Now this is like backdraft William Baldwin. Like he was, like he rolled down the window. I was just staring at him, like I just totally lost like function. I go, hey, you're the guy from The Thing. I'm like,
yep.
I'm like, you're the fire movie, backdraft, my backdraft. You're a backdraft. I go, what's your name? He goes, Billy. I go, Billy Baldwin. I go, Billy Baldwin. I'm looking for my friends. So this is Billy Baldwin. And he started like, I remember him like laughing at me because I was just so like flustered. I was just like, can I, so I was like, what do you want? He's like, fill it up super. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's fucking Billy Baldwin. It's like,
I'm a bus attendant. My bad.
Yeah, I'm like, don't scratch his car. Now, this isn't in a time where I had no dreams of making movies or comedy, nothing. It was just teenage Joe. Right. I used to wash everybody's window. I always ask, can I wash your window? Let me check your oil. He's like, yeah, wash my window. I'm like, I'm washing Billy fucking Baldwin's window. So like it's filling up. It's a big like Cherokee. So like I'm done washing the window. I'm sitting there. So I'm like, so what do you got going on? Like I'm trying to. I go, what are you doing around here? Because at that time he's like, I live in New York. I'm like, oh, obviously, duh. And then and I go, so what are you doing? And he goes, I'm on my way to actually shoot a new movie. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, I'm doing a new movie with Sharon Stone called Sliver. I'm like, oh shit, that's awesome. I love her. I'm just like trying to say anything.
You have really nothing to talk about. That's awesome.
So he gives me his credit card. And I have to go. This is back in the days we had to do
go inside
and like move the thing back and forth, the big heavy thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh shit, I got William Baldwin's fucking credit card. I'm in there. My buddy's like, did you get his autograph? I'm like, you think I should get it?
Did you?
I did. I got it on a credit card. I don't even know where it is today, but I was like, yo, can I get your autograph? And he signed William Baldwin on a credit card receipt. So I had I had that, I had a carbon copy. I had a whole backup system and still still lost it. And
you had a triplicate and still lost it.
I had a triplicate and still lost it. And because, you know, when I used to make a ton of money on tips at that gas station because you check everybody's oil, you wash their windows. They used to throw me like $2, $5. Bro, he gave me $50.
For doing his window and stuff?
I don't know if it was because he thought I was, you know, just because I was such a, I don't know. He gave me $50. He's wealthy. I'm hoping that was.
He just thought you were handicapped.
He just never saw such a, I guess he never got such a happy response at a gas pump before. Like, I was just picturing me washing his window at the Suds, and as I'm pulling away, I'm smiling. Or like just going, you're William Baldwin.
Backdraft.
Do you know who you are?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see him one day. I'll tell him the story. He'll be like, you were the kid. We were worried about you.
Give my $50 back. I haven't worked in 10 years.
Yeah, we were worried about you. Let's see. We have one. Let's see. Robin said, I saw Liv Tyler online at the bathroom. It was at George Carlin's show, and they were filming a movie in the neighborhood. I did a double take, got in her face, and said, it's you. Stunning is an understatement. It's you. Yeah, that's like the stuff I would say. You're you.
Look at you.
Can you believe you're here as you? And I'm here as me? That's crazy.
It's like a coincidence. It's not a coincidence, right? This is like fate.
No, yeah, what is this?
I need gas. You pump gas. That's our relationship.
Yeah, I was meant to meet him that day. There was so many other pumps he could have chosen. So many guys I worked with that wouldn't give a shit that it was William Baldwin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to think if I had a failure meeting any other celebrities. I always feel like whenever I'm around someone I hold in high regard, I don't know who I am, but it ain't me. Like,
right,
I become someone totally different that just doesn't know how to communicate anymore. I've lost all social ability. It's like even comedians that I look up to, I'm like, I just shrink in the moment.
1,000%.
Yeah.
As soon as I get into a conversation with someone who I am totally like admire or like their work or like I've been a big fan, the conversation doesn't flow. I need them to give me a good hour to get comfortable. Just, can you talk to me for an hour? In about an hour, man, I'm going to be all right. But for this first hour, it's going to be rough. Can you please let me get, so I'm not going to be able to spit words out. I don't know what happens between my brain and my tongue, but they don't communicate well when I'm standing around in front of somebody I really like am into.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've met other celebrities at that gas station, but not of that caliber.
Right.
You know, what was it? Gorilla Monsoon came to my pump. Remember that WWF guy? He was a dickhead. Well,
with a name like Gorilla Monsoon,
yeah, that was just his character in wrestling. I know he was always like that. It's like, you're gonna suplex me on your hood and then take off without paying, you dick.
I don't think I've, like, before comedy, I don't think I've met a ton of celebrities. I don't think I did. I mean, I might have. I don't remember shit anymore. But I saw Danny Aiello. I kept seeing him before I started doing comedy.
Yeah,
I would see him driving by, like he had a Jaguar, and I would just see him, and I'm like, that's that Danny Aiello? And like I would always see him at these weird moments in my life when like I was thinking like, I don't know how am I doing my life? What's going to happen with me? Like these little moments that your thought process. I remember one day I was on 17 at a Dunks. I came out of the Dunks. I was just standing there like, what the fuck, man? And he drove by on 17. I was like, it was like always like this. Remember the movie, like again, back Men in Black, when like they would see that the bike would ride by in the lit up bike and let him know that he was in a different.
Yeah.
Let him know he's in a different plane.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that felt like. Every time I needed it, Danny Aiello would drive by and just like, you're okay. And I was like, all right, man. So I remember one time I was driving into the Lincoln Tunnel. I just started doing comedy, and Danny, I don't know him yet still. He pulls up like when we're all bottlenecking into this tunnel. And I look over, I'm like, hey. And he's like, gives me like a wave. And I was like, yeah, and I still went. I was like, you're not going in front of me. I'm just You're Danny Aiello. I'm still going in front of you. I'm not letting you. I'm not waving you on.
Right.
But then I didn't realize he was always in Hoboken. And me and Rich Carucci, back in like 2005, before I stopped doing comedy, 2004. When did you start? The beginning of the middle of 2004?
No, I'm trying to think. Maybe because that festival was in 2004, and I don't think I was doing comedy then. I may have started that spring, because if the festival was in March, I'm thinking maybe that summer, whatever that convention was. Mm-hmm. You know, like May or June sometime. Yeah, so yeah, it's probably around that time.
So once I met you, that I stopped doing comedy. Pretty much a few months after that, I stopped really going around.
Yeah.
But me and Carucci had went looking to put a room together, and we went to Hoboken, and we went into Tuta Pastas, and they had that upstairs room, and we're like, this would be great for the Thursday or Friday show. We just have a show up here, and we came back down, and out front at the tables out front was Danny with his dog, and I was like, this fucking Danny Aiello again? Yeah. What is happening here? You know, and then I met him, and I was told that story. Like, you were like this like beacon. Every time I wanted to just like say, forget things, I don't know what's happening with me, I would see him.
That's amazing. You became friends with Danny Aiello. That's like an insane.